watch phone. Yeah, Tone. If you wanna parlay, down low on a parlay. I just hit a parlay, I'ma throw a party. If you wanna parlay, down low on a parlay. I just hit a parlay, I'm about to throw a party. I just woke up in time to check out my parlay from last night. I hope it's a good day. If I'm on top the leaderboard on one a parlay, that mean it's a good day. Oh yeah, I forgot that the Hawks played. I bet you Jordan Poole have an off day. Guaranteed Travis Hunter made a mouse play. If so, I done cashed on my parlay. 2 picks, 4 picks, 6 picks, 7 picks. Pick your poison. Want a parlay, then download the app right now. Come on, join it. If you lose one time, gotta keep on going. Flip them winnings, gotta stack them coins. Stay in the race like Jacket Joyner. You'll win if you stack them points up. NBA, CBB, MLS, NFL, MLB. Take your time, build your slip. NHL, MMA, UFC. Yeah, you can go big on big. Yeah, or you can go small on small. World Series, Super Bowl, March Madness, Championship, win them all. If you wanna parlay, down low on a parlay. I just hit a parlay, I'ma throw a party. If you wanna parlay, down low on a parlay. I just hit a parlay, I'm about to throw a party.
Well, there it was, folks. Welcome back to the Wanna Parlay podcast. I'm Lantz Bell. Above me is Jack Neuheisel. Jack, go ahead and tell the folks about the beautiful people that sponsor this podcast.
That intro was hot. That was nice. Show is brought to you, as always, by the good folks of Wanna Parlay, home of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning $2 into $2,000. Thursday show means we are at the midway point of another beautiful Wanna week, and the good people of Wanna are already seeing a ton of money head out the door. Some shout outs to distribute, some updates to hand out. Within the pick six, who else would dial picks? It's just not the leaderboard. It's not this section of the show without mentioning his name. He's now officially on 60K watch, only $8 away from 55K. He's turning it up yet again. Buyers beware around that guy. Taylor's picks. All of his picks are public. Pick 4, Griswold 619 goes home with $200. The pick 3, Opium 445 with 150. And in the pick 2, Put Up or Shut Up goes home with $100. Those are just to name a few. The Parlay Royale. No winners, no takers the last 2 nights. Already spoke to Joe Bags and a handful of other Wanna players who are desperate for a win. You're playing for a $1,000 prize every night, people. Every night this thing's offered. If I were you, I'd be getting after it. The main event, no slack for you, dropping a 209.94 down. That is a hell of a bar, but with baseball season starting today and the Sweet 16, the Elite 8 hitting over the weekend, still plenty of opportunities to go catch him. And more importantly, not catch him, but catch that $2,000 prize that's going to be handed out on Sunday night. Quick update for the VIP contest. No slack for you. Stay hot, kid. He does it twice, 86.74. Very respectable again, but very gettable yet again. $2 to enter for a prize worth close to $10,000, 100 submission limit. If I were, I'd be using all 100. 1 to win at 99 on some insurance plays. And then another reminder, Little Joe's Hookie Pass is still being offered throughout the entirety of the March Madness tournament. Wanna Parlay is a co-sponsor on that. So if you find yourself in the Chicago area, get over to Little Joe's where he's offering all sorts of fun promotions, prizes, and parlay opportunities. We brought it up in the last show, but excited to receive my Little Joe's bourbon bottle, and then we'll officially get it on in the back end of the tournament here. I'll get a 10-leg parlay going or something, and we'll play for shots, me and KG. He's got a Hall of Fame mascot right now in the bar, Lance. They've got, I got to go look it up again, but some baller rolling around. I got a great show for you guys today. Tone will be popping on at some point, I assume. But that's all we got. Let's hit it.
Well, I'm fucking about to tuck my tail, bow my head, and just be a sad little boy right now because we got to talk about accountability time, accountability hour, because that's how we start every show. And KG Little Joe's confirms he just sent out the bottle today, Jack. So be looking in that mailbox of yours.
There we go.
Yeah, I did awful last time out on the betting. And I will say I didn't know Steph Curry was not playing. And if I knew Steph Curry was not playing, I don't even think I would have touched the game. Because statistically, if you look, when Steph Curry plays, they're one of the best offenses. And when he doesn't play, they are quite literally the worst offense. So it's just a completely different game when he doesn't play. I had Steph Curry over 31.5 PRA. Did not play, obviously. Andrew Wiggins over 20.5 PRA. This was a loss. He came out shit. He just didn't have it against his former team, but it was such a pathetic game that like it wasn't necessary, which leads farther to my point about I want to have been near this game if I knew Curry wasn't playing. Draymond Green over 2.5 steals and blocks. This is another loss. It wasn't even close. The game wasn't close. It's just a pathetic game. KG Little Joe says, new segment called Drunken Picks powered by Little Joe's. Wait, that's kind of awesome. We'll actually have to lab and talk about that.
That's the shot update. Yeah. That's the shot game. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So let's keep moving forward. I had Rockets minus 7.5. This was a disgusting beat, by the way. The Rockets were handling the Hawks. The Hawks came back. Then the Rockets went on like what looked like the final run to get away and, finish the game. Then a couple points straggling from the Hawks afterwards. We lose by half a point. They won by 7. Tough stuff. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 32.5 points. He had 32. It just wasn't my day, folks. It just wasn't my day. And then DeRozan over 8.5 rebounds and assists. He had 6 rebounds and 6 assists. I knew that was, or felt like that was an easy number. I don't know anything after the results I just had.
You knew nothing.
I knew nothing. Yeah. I knew nothing. So what are we talking about?
I will say in the kind of come home game, the rematch, or not the rematch, or the first match really between Jimmy Butler and the Heat, with the way that ended, I didn't like your thoughts going into that. Steph not playing was significant. But even in the game, like a week ago, we won money on the back-to-back after they got beat. Then they play the Bucks without Steph the next night, and they kind of go and roll them. I didn't hate the thought. It did occur to me right before this game tipped that this thing has become so petty and weird. This thing had underball written all over it, all sorts of unders on everything. Both sides of this camp are being so petty. Jimmy Butler had the comment pregame talking about how he had nothing to say to Pat, and Pat better have nothing to say to him. They play the kind of the welcome home tribute video that was lackluster. Wasn't bad, but there wasn't a lot of emotion. It felt awkward in the building. Half boos, half cheers for him. The whole thing's petty and weird. So a weird game. Bummer that you had so much all over that. I didn't do much better. I went 1-2. I was just trying to survive Tuesday night, though, if I'm being honest. I'm just trying to kick it till I get to tonight. I get baseball back. I get college basketball back. But I went 3 straight NBA unders. Feeling like it's that time of the year, but I was wrong on 2 of them. Under 226.5 Knicks Mavs. Felt like I was catching. It was a Mavs team with nobody. I thought I was going to get a harder play than this, and the Knicks offense had been stiff. Knicks ended up having 128 on their own, though. This thing was never close. Under 235.5 Rockets Hawks. This is my only win, and I cover it by a half point. Like, this thing was hanging on for dear life as well. And then under 229.5 Cavs Blazers. Wanted more out of you, Blazers. Wanted more. Trying hard to get you a back door into this fucking playoffs. And you want nothing to do with it. So nothing from them. 1-2, bad stuff. I did not write down Tone stuff. So when he comes on the show, we'll have to bug him for his accountability.
Yeah, and honestly, you're 100% right with that call out about it's such a weird situation that it wasn't under. Like, now, obviously, looking back, that makes a lot more sense than where I was going. I thought if we had Curry, you have the full strength Warriors, like, it just would have been a better look, but they just look like shit. And honestly, everyone across the board in that game looked like shit.
The thing with those plot line games, those return games, one, it's always different if it's a star player versus a role player. If it's like even in the zeitgeist that like this is going to be a big game. If they're going to play a tribute video, though, it's kind of a big deal. But always tough to see if it's going to deliver. If you're going to get a guy go off for 60 or if it's going to be this. To me, the whole thing just felt awkward and weird. It did not feel like it was ramping up to Jimmy.
Yeah, no. I mean, the game, because I watched the game and it was a horrible game. It was just not entertaining. It wasn't good stuff. It was class. It looked like a shitty Warriors team because of no Curry. Like, the Heat were playing their ass off. One who had the career game was Bam Adebayo. I should have bet on the fucking people that were angry.
They asking shit all over him, too.
I know. So good for him. I mean, I still hold my position dearly. I mean, they're, falling out of the 10th seed. So, rest in piss, Miami. But he had a great game.
We got games tipping in 45 minutes, though. We got to hit our topics.
Yeah. No, 100%. KG Little Joe's breaking news. Your Lakers just arrived at the Continental Hotel in Chicago. They arrived hours late. No practice before the game. Interesting. I don't know why that is. I mean, I know LeBron. We saw LeBron on Pat McAfee, and that's one of our topics. Just the whole Stephen A. Smith beat. But we'll get to that in due time. Russell Wilson to the Giants. We're in the NFL, folks. Jack, tell me your thoughts. What are you thinking? Because we have been all over the place, it feels like, with what's going on with these top drafting teams.
Literally, like in the NFL especially, the second I make a prediction, like an hour after we get off the show, everything derails said prediction. So yet again, I was all over. I thought the Giants' play was to try to trade up to 1, draft Cam Ward. I thought for all the pieces involved, guys trying to save their jobs, and Dayball in the front office there, that was the smartest move on the table. Now they get Russell Wilson, they get a Super Bowl champion, they get a legit adult in the room. I don't think it elevates you in any way, but certainly if you feel like you can scheme stuff up and have it, they were good on defense, particularly towards the end of the year. And they were trying to win games with Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock and a host of other guys. So I maybe with the amount of money they spent to him and Jameis Winston, it would be a complete mistake for them to go first-round draft pick on a quarterback here. It's a kooky, weird quarterback room, especially in a team that needs other people you'd want to support if you were trying to put a rookie quarterback out there. And even with Russell Wilson, he's going to need some more support. This team needs to be better if you think you're going to move the needle with Russell Wilson. So I would not spend a first, even a second-round draft pick, but I do expect them to draft a quarterback either round 3 or later. Basically, I think it's going to be a last-day draft pick, and it'll be interesting to see if any of these guys that have gotten any buzz slip and kind of fall into the Giants, and they make a move there in like the 4th round. A Tyler Shaw, a Kyle McCord still hanging around there if he's there. I think Dart would be off the board by then, but those are the guys I would be looking at.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I could also see them drafting the quarterback early, only because like this Wilson contract is 1 year. So it's like, if it doesn't work, they can kind of just be like, all right, bro, we're done with you. Like halfway through the year, and it doesn't clear money into the next year. And then Jameis, go ahead.
Just if you weren't going, maybe you were on your way to saying this, but they're going $8 million to Jameis Winston, which is going to be top 5 money for a backup quarterback right now. And that's already with Russell now in the building. So technically you're still pretty cheap on what you'd be paying your quarterback room. So stack it all together, I get it, but you're going then basically, what is it? Mid $20 million a year on this year on 2 guys that aren't ever going to see the field. Especially now with the quarterback roles, like Jameis Winston to be a clipboard guy wearing a helmet, like he'd be the 53rd man on your roster, and you're paying him $8 million. It'd just be it'd be a poorly handled operation by this organization if they ended up there.
So you don't think kind of like what we saw with Cousins and Penix, the sit down, you got the rookie quarterback, you get your guy, maybe. I'm
good with that, but not with $8 million to Jameis Winston also. You can't be paying 2 backup quarterbacks, top 5 backup quarterback money, and then trying to just roll it out there, particularly when you're not otherwise good enough. Like the Falcons felt like, they played it cheap with Taylor Heineke for a year, but they kind of got a ton of skill position. Then they invested in the O-line. Like the Falcons, for a lot of reasons last year, seemed like they were going to be a good team. I thought they'd be more competitive. Kirk Cousins was super disappointing. But the Giants, especially in their division, you got to be thinking across the board, you've got talent issues. I mean, you got Malik Neighbors hanging out there at receiver. I don't know who their second receiver is. I've heard Tyler Warren mentioned for a first-round draft pick for him. That'd be cool. He's kind of got a Jeremy Shockey type ability to him. But, yeah, I don't see it. I didn't think, outside, even you plug and play a great quarterback on this team last year, I don't think they're nearly competitive. So, the idea, I don't know. This thing's getting weirder and weirder. When they signed Jameis, I was like, perfect backup quarterback to a Shador or a Cam Ward. And then maybe if you're Dayball, you're trying to tie yourself to a rookie quarterback. And if you can just show some movement of the needle, he is a respected coach. Maybe, Mara and the ownership has taken some of the last couple of years on themselves. But I don't know how this ramps up to anything better than what they had last year. Russell Wilson's absolutely better than Tommy DeVito. But if it's playoff aspirations and it's guys trying to save their jobs, it still looks like a group that's going to get fired before Thanksgiving to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree with a lot of it. Yeah, I mean, the Giants are so far from the talent level of like the Eagles and Commanders, even in their division, let alone conference, that maybe this is just they're buying one more year. They got Jameis on the 2-year because they're going to draft a quarterback the next year, maybe? I don't know. I'm trying to do the best I can to not call the Giants
you're totally
absolute
right.
idiots, but
Playoff teams in their division, and it's a gettable NFC, and it's New York Giants, the team with history and all this. Like, it should be a team that's able to get right, and they continue to kind of flounder. Not even where like the Steelers and Seahawks like to flounder, where at least they're vying for wild card spots every single year and are perennial playoff teams. Like, this has been real bad since Eli Manning has left this organization. It wasn't great in the last couple of years of Eli. It was awkward.
Oh, yeah,
Tom
no.
Coughlin gets fired. Eli's crying at the press conference. OBJ kind of has a weird falling out with the organization. Like, this has been bad for some time now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. The Giants have not been anything to be proud of. All right, let's move forward. Aaron Rodgers informs the Steelers of that he's going to make his decision this week. I've been saying I want to see A-Rod on the Steelers, so, I hope it happens. I don't really know. I've heard murmurs about him taking a year off or something dumb I've seen on social media, which that doesn't make sense. Do you have any idea what's going on here?
The Steelers are so fucked if Aaron Rodgers does not sign with them. You let Justin Fields and Russell Wilson sign the two lightest contracts for potential starting quarterbacks in the league next year. You had both of them. You would have been happy signing both of which for that number if Aaron Rodgers was out of the picture much earlier in the process. They're not in a position. They don't have the draft capital to move up and take a guy you'd think would start in year one. So it becomes real awkward and real weird. Like, this would be, honest to God, I think it'd be Mason Rudolph resigns, and like maybe this is where Kirk Cousins lands. Like, it would be a bizarre, like a Jimmy Garoppolo-esque type guy would end up being the starter there. It would just be brutal, and especially after they go sign and give away one of the biggest contracts of the offseason to DK Metcalf, and you pair him with George Pickens. Like, you're trying to say we're investing on offense because forever they've spent more money on defense than anyone else in the league. You have to sign Aaron Rodgers. And for the good of the league and just for what's interesting, I do not care to see Mason Rudolph as an opening day starter going into this season. Give me Aaron Rodgers in the black and yellow, and let's go have some fun with it. Yeah. I don't know that it works, but it'll be fun. It's interesting.
100%. Because it's like, dude, Mason Rudolph. I mean, the sad part is if they came out with a guy like Mason Rudolph or, a Jimmy G or one of these like average, very average, should be a backup quarterbacks, I still think the Steelers go 500. That's just what they do. That's why if they get a guy like Aaron Rodgers, it gives you the chance, or at least maybe the ceiling, or even just to be able to play with the thought that the ceiling is, a deeper playoff run or Super Bowl or something.
It swings you back to those last couple of years with Ben Roethlisberger, where they were still this 500 middling team, wild card team. They weren't trying to win divisions, but they'd play the Ravens tough and they'd get a wild card spot. And I think Ben Roethlisberger's last playoff game was getting beat by Baker Mayfield against the Browns. But that was a team, because it was Ben Roethlisberger who had the Super Bowls, and it was that team, you talked them into possibly making a run that year. You've not been able to do that with the Steelers since Ben Roethlisberger's retired. Maybe with Aaron Rodgers when they're vying for that playoff card spot, that's a whole lot more interesting.
No, 100%. And God, I remember that playoff game. Wasn't it like disastrous in the first few minutes? Like, wasn't that the game
it fell over his head?
Yeah,
defensive touchdown. Like, it was like 28-0 before anyone could blink. Like, yeah. It was like, and then they hit the shot at the end of the first half. Like, it was so over before the game ever started. And I think Steelers were minus money in that. I hammered the Steelers early, hammered them live. Just refused to believe Baker Mayfield was going to win a playoff game. I've come around on Baker. I've come full circle.
Hey, you and a lot of America has. I mean, I'm going to be honest. The crash out at the Browns, everyone thought he was the problem. He's like on the Panthers. He's bouncing around. It's like him, Darnold, and whoever the hell. It didn't look great. And then he came. Go ahead.
Like DeChambeau, he needed some humbling. We were right. Yeah. Like, society's been right on both those guys. Where it was like we were right to dislike him early, and we're right to come around on him now.
100%. I mean, Baker, once he had led that game-winning drive, Rams versus Raiders, and after being on the team for at most 24 hours, that was the start of his comeback story. And then he got the deal with the Bucks, and the rest is history. I mean, it's great stuff. All right, let's move NBA. LeBron James hits a game winner, tipping in Luka's miss against the Pacers. It was just beautiful stuff. You love to see it. The only thing I got is I just loved it. I loved every moment. I was a little upset with how the Lakers are playing offense late in games. It feels like it's just awkward. It's awkward because Reeves could do it, Luka can do it, and LeBron can do it. They could all have the ball in their hands, and it feels like whoever it is that possession late in the game that has the ball in their hands, it just seems like it shouldn't be them. Like I watch Reeves dribble down a shot clock, Dorian Finney-Smith comes up from the right corner, sets the screen, he goes, and he should obviously 100 times out of 100 be able to make the bullet pass to the left corner, and it just gets tipped away and, turnover, Pacers ball, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, all right, so why the fuck didn't we have LeBron James do that? Because he's the greatest basketball player of all time. So that's where it's like, it's tough, though. It's just awkward. So if it doesn't work, it's easy to point fingers and say it should have been someone else. But if it does, give them the flowers.
Yeah, we don't try to hide it at all. We're Lakers fans, you and I, Tone as well. I will say it's been like an awkward couple weeks because I really like how the standings are shaping up. But after the Lakers were the hottest team in the NBA, we've gone something like 3-8 in our last 11. And so I went into yesterday feeling like we needed to see a win. And then LeBron's got 3 points at halftime, and he's on the verge of breaking a fucking 100-year-old record he's set for himself that's been active since he was 18 years old, which is just crazy. We needed that tip in desperately. We needed the tip in.
Yeah.
Now we've got a little bit of the juice. We're in a little bit of a conundrum, though, because I do want us playing our best. I do want us trending in the right direction. I want good momentum and good juice headed into the postseason. But this is the dream standing currently for the Lakers. We're tied with the Grizzlies at the 4-5 spot. If the playoffs started today, we would tell you the Grizzlies in a series and have home court advantage. I'm obsessed with that. The Warriors are in the play-in spot right now. The Clippers actually own the 6.
Wow.
Yeah. So it'd be the Nuggets playing the Clippers. It'd be the Warriors having to play Houston. And then it'd be OKC having to play whoever gets out of the play-in game. But basically, this puts you in a really good spot to basically, maybe it'd be OKC if everything gets chalked out then in round 2. And then Thunder Warriors have to go play each other if everyone else, as it plays out like we think it's going to. That's all you want, is to create a path where you don't have to play either of those two teams till the Western Conference Finals and pray to God there's no scenario where you have to play both on your way to the finals altogether. The more and more I looked at it, before yesterday's game, we were talking on the podcast because it felt like we were catching the Lakers at the bottom of their slump. I went and hit Western Conference Finals champions and NBA champions. I'm going to win $2,000 if all that happens.
Wow!
And it just cost me $50. So that's just great value, folks. That's just great value. I don't know a better valued bet on the board through any sport. All right. Well, and I 100% agree. I mean, the Grizzlies, that would be an ideal matchup in the playoffs for the Lakers, 100%. And, you hit a team. I'd like to see the Grizzlies and the Rockets and got to think a couple more other teams before I'd see the Nuggets. So you're worried about the Nuggets and Thunder or the Nuggets and Warriors? Nuggets and Warriors. Don't fear the Thunder at all. In a 7-game series against our Lakers. Luka's shown 2 years in a row. He's going to fucking drop whatever number he needs on their heads to beat him. It's LeBron James. You get Vando and Austin Reeves to commit to a defensive game plan, too, in a 7-game series. Like, we'd steal one on the road. We'd win both back at home. Lakers in 5 or 6. Your call.
Lakers in 5. That shit's so funny. All right. We don't have to talk about this much because, I was hoping Tone was going to be here for this conversation, but I was like, what the hell is going on recently with this LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith beef? I've been hearing some crazy takes from Stephen A. On his show recently. I know LeBron was on the Pat McAfee show. kind of calling out these reporters and calling them clowns, and he took a shot at like a Brian Windhorse and was like, this guy claimed to be my best friend. Like, I don't know him. He's weird. Like, that's weird. Like, he's a weird guy for that. Like, I don't know why he claims that. Stephen A has gone on to like, he tried to attack LeBron because he said, why weren't you at Kobe's memorial? Just a weird call out. Like, how is that you're trying to diss someone? So I don't really know. It's all stemmed from that interaction at that Lakers game. Like, Jack, is this just for clicks? Or is LeBron engaging in this just to get the pressure and attention off Bronny? Like, I don't know. What is this?
I think it's the fakest, most WWE for clicks and money thing ever. Nothing will ever come of this. And the timeline of events is Stephen A. Smith does what he did, where Bronny was terrible to start the season. And then he went on a horrible rant of like, as a father, please, I'm pleading with you. And then did that whole thing. LeBron confronts him at the game. Also a little bit ridiculous. It's Stephen A. Smith. This is what he does. But I get it. You're having a fatherly moment. And then it's gotten more awkward and weird. Stephen A. comes back and he's like trying to kind of brush it under the deal, and it hones up to the mistake, saying he was wrong to say what he said. And now it's just gotten weirder, and like it's all fake. It's just noise. No one's going to fight each other.
I was about to say, because it seemed like Stephen A. like kind of came to the point. It was like, okay, like, whoa. Like, maybe I did, maybe it was like, whatever. But, and then it just turned into like Stephen A. claiming that if LeBron put his hands on him, he would have swung on him. That's a quote. That's a Stephen A. quote off his show. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Stephen A. Smith is a $100 million influencer is what he is. I mean, like he does a job and he does it well, but he hardly watches the games. It's not here for analysis. It's here for his personality and like,
true,
just being Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
So it's all like, what's the best headline right now in Stephen A. Smith's world? This is just keep milking it for all it's worth.
Yeah. Hey, and that's exactly kind of how I thought about it, because it just seems too absurd. It's like, these are grown men. Like, who the fuck? Who cares? I can't even believe anyone. I can't believe LeBron honestly has engaged in it. I understood slight bit, like in the context of, he had the dad moment, like you're saying. And I'm like, who knows if he made the right or wrong decision, but he just had that protective fatherly instinct. So he went after him, whatever. I don't know. We shouldn't even be talking about
him. Just think about how much we're getting got right now. Like, think about how much time we spent talking about Bronny James.
Yeah.
It's just clickbait.
Hey.
Like he's the 55th overall pick. Who gives a shit?
He just had 39 in the G League.
1.5 minutes a game. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Hey, true. But he did just have 39 in the G League. I just want to throw that out there. KG, I know you're shaking in your boots that Bronny's going to be a great NBA player. He says, Stephen A. would get knocked out by my 8-year-old nephew. He's like, I hate Stephen A. more than I hate LaFlop. Yeah, KG, let's go. That gets me fired up. Oh, KG also, I don't think Curry is 100% yet, so until he's fully healthy, I wouldn't worry about the Warriors. Interesting call out, and I slightly agree. I was going to say, because I am a little more weary of the Thunder than the Warriors, because it feels like LeBron and LA, but that's when we've had Anthony Davis. Mm-hmm. And it's been a complete, like a mismatch most times when we play him, which wouldn't be the same. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I'll say it again too. I still just do not take the Warriors seriously until proven otherwise. And I think SGA, a lot like Brunson, a lot like James Harden, really relies on the whistle. Mm-hmm. A lot of his games, just so he can get guys off balance, play through contact, and he's always going to get the whistle. That always shrinks in the postseason. The 100%. Whistle goes away, and in the big possessions where they want to just go 4 down low and let you play ISO ball, like if you're not getting that whistle, I don't know.
No, I 100% agree with you, and that's been what I've been thinking about the Thunder for a while now. I'm looking at this offense. I'm looking at how SGA plays. Like, when it comes crunch time, he's not going to get these whistles like he does in the regular season.
And I don't watch enough, so this is probably ignorant, but stop telling me Chet Holmgren's a part of this big three or something like that. Like, like it just, until I see 28 out of him in a playoff game, I do not give a shit. I just don't care.
No, and it's 100% fair, and I don't think you're far off with that, because it's like don't get me wrong, great rim protector, not a great rebounder, but hasn't even come out and had any dominant performances so far in the regular season. So why do I believe that this guy is, like you're saying, a part of a big three or anything
he's
other
gonna
than a
get
nice role
LeBron
player?
switched on him in that matchup. Like it's like there's no way. There's no way this OKC team. But Lou Dort's gonna fucking make me lose sleep at night. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no. All right, let's move forward, because we're trying to stay on track to get these picks before the game. So
we got big baseball throwing out at 4. We got big hoops starting at 4:05. We just gotta,
Yeah. Let's go NCAA basketball. Let's get a bracket check in. I'm actually gonna pull mine up. Show my
the bracket check in, because thank God it's amazing how long fucking 3 days takes when you're waiting on these games to come back. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday dragged on, but now we are back. We got Sweet 16 action happening tonight. Fun fact, we still have all 4 1 seeds still playing. The last time, Lance, and we've talked about it on the show, but the last time all 4 1 seeds made the Final Four was in 2008. Coincidentally, the last time this tournament was hosted in San Antonio. So it's interesting. All 1 seeds playing, huge spreads. Duke minus 9.5. Florida minus 6.5. Excuse me. Auburn minus 9.5. And then Houston minus 8.5. So big spreads, expecting the 1 seeds to cruise to the Elite Eight. It's weird. The couple of these 1 seed spreads are the ones that I lean on most to trust the favorites. A lot of these games, as I'm looking at the spreads for the next 2 days in our Sweet 16 matchups, I really like to favor the dog, which makes me feel horribly wrong. I feel horribly misled. I don't trust a lot of these lines. I love BYU to start off tonight. Kind of lean Duke, but remember Duke Arizona tonight. That's the second time they've played, and it's a very different Arizona team than the last time these two matched it up. Florida minus 6.5. I think Maryland's just going to be outmatched. I think their starting 5 is going to play it tough. I think somewhere towards the end of the first half, Florida will pull away, and this game will never get close again. Arkansas, Texas Tech. Fuck Arkansas. It's the team we were begging them to be all year. Playing good basketball. I don't know if Texas Tech has the offense. I lean them on the 5.5. Ole Miss plus 3.5 at Michigan State. That's just a great line. I think that's a great game. That's a great matchup. I lean Sparty. We'll see 7 SEC teams here, Lance. 7 SEC teams. They have a chance to get 6 into the Elite Eight. They could also just get 1 into the Elite Eight. So it'll be interesting to see how the SEC performs over the next 2 days. Michigan getting 9.5 versus Auburn feels like way too many points to be given to a team as good as Michigan's playing down the stretch here. Kentucky plus 4.5 versus Tennessee. Kentucky is 2-0 against Tennessee this year. 2-0 against Tennessee. It's going to be the 3rd matchup. We say it's hard to beat a team twice. How about beating them 3 times? But 4.5 for a team that's 2-0 against them. Yeek. And then Houston, everyone knows how I feel about Houston. There wasn't a Final Four. I didn't take Houston too. So yeah, it's going to be good, man. It starts off with BYU plus 4.5. I think that game's going to be awesome. I got picks lined up for it, but it'll be interesting. Do you have any strong inclinations here? Do you think you can identify your Final Four out of here? Do you think, are you just kind of going to lean it on back and watch it take over?
Well, I got KG Little Joe's in the chat saying Duke getting upset tonight. I've got a feeling. So when KG has a feeling, I'm not gonna lie, usually is pretty. If
you're feeling that, you're feeling Caleb Love. Prop bets on Caleb Love. Get after it.
Caleb Love, me personally.
Who are you rooting for in the Oregon-Arizona game, by the way?
Oh, I was Arizona. Pops is my boy. I got an Oregon hat on, but I lived in Tucson, and they're a basketball school. They want. I just leaned Arizona. I don't have any.
Mama Nance.
Yeah,
Mama Nance is a Wildcat as well.
Yeah.
So that would be your team if you had to just pick one.
Yeah,
that's your squad. Yeah.
That would be exactly. But like you said, Caleb Love is gonna have to be huge, and personally, I'm just not the biggest Caleb Love fan. I feel like he's very massively overrated, but he hooped last game, so maybe, and he's caught in fire before in March, so I'm like, maybe he can do it. Maybe in the last run
against Duke.
Yeah,
and against Duke, obviously the North Carolina transfer, and Arizona, man, I don't know, they were playing some fucking D against Oregon. Oregon was playing their asses off, and they were D'ing up.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's gonna be an interesting one. We'll see how I do with BYU. See how fucking hot and cocky I'm feeling. I might chase the old bear down tonight over Duke.
Yeah, no, I think I'm definitely going to take Arizona plus 9.5. Now, money lines, like who am I taking? I don't think I have enough jimmies to take Arizona over Duke, because that's just, that's a lot, guys. It's Cooper Flag. This kid's a nut. And the rest of the team is stacked. It's not even like it's just Cooper Flag. That's the biggest thing about Duke. It's not just Cooper Flag. Even though he's by far and beyond the best player, it is not just him. Like, that is a fucking loaded Duke team. So 5
or 6 NBA players, 3 lottery picks. It's a squad.
Yeah.
It's a squad.
So, hey, anything could happen. Anything could happen. But
I will say their average margin of victory, they have not played a lot of close games this year. And in a couple examples, they kind of shit down their leg in close games. They got beat by Kentucky early in the season. Get beat by Clemson in a close game late. Trying to remember the other one that they choked, the late game possession. Beat Auburn in a close one. That game was at home, but remains to be seen. It'll be interesting to see how Duke performs if this thing does become a one-possession game late.
Yeah, I mean, because, Arizona, the ball is going to, and Duke, it's like, you should know who the ball is going to, but I've seen Flag dribble it off his leg late in a game and lose the game, so I'm like, I don't know. Let's see. It'll be fun. But I'd have Houston. I'd take Tennessee. I mean, the third match, I feel like you definitely win, but that's just me. I like Michigan State. I like Arkansas. And then Florida, Maryland is tough because I was sleeping on Maryland, but then they shut my mouth. So, yeah, I mean, you talk about that starting lineup versus the bench. I don't know. If they can stay out of foul trouble and somehow, stay in it and hang in there, keep it close late, who knows? I mean, we'll see. Caleb Love, over in points, lock from KG. All right. We'll have to see. All right. Well, shit, Jack, should we hop into tonight's picks?
Let's get tonight's picks. I was poking in to see if there was any meaningful baseball going on right now, but not a ton. I think we're in good shape here.
Yeah, I know Papa was trying to bet a couple Nerfies and try to get me to hop in. I'm pretty sure he went over. So glad I didn't do that. But I need a goddamn bounce back with these picks, because the past two so far this week, I'm like pathetic numbers, folks. I'm pathetic numbers. So maybe I'm the fade of the week. Maybe I'm the tail of the Thursday. Who knows? But all right, here we go. Player props, take them individually and take them in a parlay. Jared Allen of the Cleveland Cavaliers, over 10.5 rebounds. No Evan Mobley. And the Spurs, who they're playing, are bottom 5 in rebounds given up. That's just sheer logic. I'm trying my hardest this Thursday. Pascal Siakam, over 30.5 PRA. Playing the Wizards. I mean, that speaks for itself. They're the Wizards. And Pascal Siakam has made an NBA career and a lot of goddamn money off just feasting on shitty teams. So I expect him to do so again tonight. Kobe White, over 2.5 threes. Sadly, people just like to ball out against the Lakers, and Kobe White is one of them. So I'm taking his over in threes again. It's just a sad reality. People ball against the Lakers. Next, Sabonis, over 34.5 PRA. Now, I think this number's risen on me a little bit, but take it where you can get it. Sabonis has hooped so far against the Blazers this year. It's just a good matchup for him. Usually who he faces as the big man, they don't really guard well to his game, so he's just been balling. KG Joe's Buzelis, over 1.5 threes. Sneaky. I might have to think about it, because I just saw he looked like the greatest player of all time against the Lakers last time, so definitely in consideration. Next, I got Andrew Wiggins, over 20.5 points. Now, this isn't my favorite bet. This is probably my least favorite bet on the board, but for some reason, I love it. I just love it. Andrew Wiggins going against the Hawks. They got no perimeter defense, especially with the departure of DeAndre Hunter to the Cleveland Cavaliers and Jalen Johnson being out for the season with his knee. So Andrew Wiggins, Hawks don't play defense. You've kind of been the guy so far for the Heat. You and Hero. And KG Lil Joe's just cursing my fucking life, my pain. Wiggins under, he's going to get 20. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Buzelis is not hitting a 3, and the Bulls are getting waxed tonight. Welcome to the show, Lake Show. And last but not least, I got LeBron James over 7.5 assists. Or no, over 7.5 rebounds. My bad. Rebounds, folks. Rebounds. And that's all the picks. That's all the picks. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. I'm looking to go 6-0. I'm looking to be great and to make up for all the garbage I've given you guys the past couple shows. So let's hope I don't have to stuff my mouth once again. Jack, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you on the Jared Allen bet. That one's well researched, well thought out. Everyone else is you're playing some hunches. I appreciate it from you. I like the Kobe White bet, maybe. All right, hammering some college basketball all over 2 games to start. BYU plus 4.5 versus Alabama. I really like it money line, but I need some wins on this show, so I'm going to take the points. BYU individual over 84.5. Alabama plays at a crazy pace. BYU can shoot the lights out. I think this game gets into the 90s. I like over 84.5 for BYU. On the winning side, Florida minus 6.5 versus Maryland. My favorite 1-seed line of the entire Sweet 16. Maryland's starting 5 is fantastic. Their bench just isn't good enough. This is how Colorado State took them late. Florida plays at too much pace. They've got too much depth. I expect them to get up by the end of the first half and Maryland never close it back up. I think they cover the 6.5 comfortably. And for that reason, I also think Maryland just isn't going to score with these guys under the 157.5 in the Florida-Maryland game. Going to the NBA, Lakers minus 4.5 versus the Bulls. KG, I don't care that they got to their hotel late. Team's going to get on a little roll here going into the postseason. They just got waxed by the Bulls. I get that they're playing hot, but it felt like we had an unconcentrated, unmotivated Lakers bunch that night. I expect that to be different, and we're going to be okay. And really quick, I need to check in on my second NBA bet because it all depends on the status of Anthony Davis, and I need to see. He was listed as a game-time decision. I need to see where we stand. I apologize. This isn't great radio. Bear with me.
Oh, no, you're
Bear
good.
with me.
I'm not seeing he's out.
Playing.
Yeah, he's playing.
He's playing. So I'm taking the Mavs. Let me roll. Mavs plus 6.5 tonight at Orlando. And then baseball. I told you guys I love the 3-game parlay. Dodgers playing against the Tigers, who've got Scooball going. A little bit intimidating, but it's the goddamn Dodgers. And guess what? They have Blake Snell going. So we're going to be just fine. Dodgers, Cubs, Mariners, all money line parlay. Good stuff right there. And that's all I got, Lance.
Very nice. Very nice. I like the baseball. I'm going to be excited.
Well, baseball parlay. It's opening day. You got to get going. I'll baseball pick on you every day.
Yeah, no.
I started hot. I took Austin Wells homer in the Yankee game. He is the first catcher in the history of baseball to lead off opening day with a home run, and the first leadoff batter in Yankee history to lead off opening day with a home run. So hot stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited.
Plus 750 out of the gate. You love to see it.
Woo! That's nice. No, I'm actually super excited. My goal of this baseball season is to just understand the sport better and just, get my knowledge up, because there's a reason baseball is still around. People like to hate on it and they say it's boring or whatever, and I'm like, you know what, you're just a fucking shallow-minded scrub, and I'm gonna be better than you.
Trending back.
Yeah,
I will say the Halos got beat by the White Sox today, though, so tough
so
start
pathetic. Me and Pop already talked about it. It's like, well, and we're already out of playoff contention once again. It's sad stuff. Let's
you can't lose them all if you don't lose the first one, Lance.
What? Say that again.
I said you can't lose them all if you don't lose the first one.
Yep, but that's not the case for the Halos, sadly, and never ever is. KG Lojo says Anthony Davis points and rebounds at 28.5 seems low to me, so overlooks good there. I'm not gonna lie, KG, that's a snipe. That's a snipe, and I like that, and I appreciate you for fucking giving us that in the chat. And Mookie bets over half a hit. you told me the whole weird sickness thing he had going on, so I'm gonna be a little wary about that one. But Anthony Davis was a great call out. That's gonna do it for the show, Jack. You want to hit the outro?
Yeah, this was the Wanna Parlay podcast. Some of everything Wanna Parlay, the proud father of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning that $2 into $2,000. Today was a great show. Thanks to absolutely nobody for coming on. People and the guests out there, we want you on. We want you talking picks. It's always great to have you. Follow the link. Come on through the Discord page. Anytime you get in the waiting room, Lance will be there and drag you on. We'll have some fun. We'll be back at the same time next Monday, recapping the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 going on, as well as the opening weekend of baseball, and covering some NBA as we start to head into postseason. So we'll be doing all that, as well as celebrating some WANA winners, updating you on the latest WANA leaderboards, and talking all things sports. Reminder, the VIP contest is still open. The winner is getting an all-expenses-paid trip to San Antonio for the Men's Basketball National Championship. Go live it up on the Riverwalk on WANA's dime and see what promises to be an epic conclusion to the 24-25 season. Again, just $2 to enter that contest. You get up to 100 entries. That's $200 if you take the full swing. That's something that's going to cost you well over $5,000, probably closer to $10,000 if it was on anyone else's dime. WANA is willing to get you there for free. Just get your submissions in and have some fun. Lance, that's all I got. Take us out.
For everyone that showed up in the chat, we appreciate you always. There's Jeremy Cantor. Just caught the last part of the Strong Show. Once again, y'all have a great opening weekend in tourney. Jeremy, you're a fucking legend, and I love you.
Good man.
For everyone that's still watching, I am going to play what is now our new intro and our new outro, courtesy of our great editor and our great friend, Tonethegoat. So I hope you guys enjoy. Tell us your thoughts. Give us a comment. Like, subscribe. Do all the fun parts of attending this show. Folks, till next time.
Pull out your phone. Yeah, Tone. If you wanna parlay, down low on a parlay. I just hit a parlay. I'ma throw a party. If you wanna parlay, down low on a parlay. I just hit a parlay. I'm about to throw a party.
I just woke up, it's time to check out my parlay from last night. I hope it's a good day. If I'm on top the leaderboard on one a parlay, that mean it's a good day. Oh yeah, I forgot that the Hawks played. I bet you Jordan Poole have an off day. Guaranteed Travis Hunter made a mouse play. If so, I done cashed on my parlay. 2 picks, 4 picks, 6 picks, 7 picks. Pick your poison. Want a parlay, then download the app right now. Come on, join it. If you lose one time, gotta keep on going. Flip them winners, gotta stack them coins. Stay in the race like Jacket Joyner. You'll win if you stack them points up. NBA, CBB, MLS, NFL, MLB. Take your time, build your slip. NHL, MMA, UFC. Yeah, you can go big on big. Yeah, or you can go small on small. World Series, Super Bowl, March Madness, Championship, win them all.
If you wanna parlay, down low on a parlay. I just hit a parlay. I'ma throw a party. If you wanna parlay, down low on a parlay. I just hit a parlay. I'm about to throw a party.
Just hopping on real quick. I hope you guys all saw that intro and outro made by our team. Incredible stuff. You know, give them a shout out. Give them a fucking a spot in the chat. We love those guys. It's incredible. I hope you enjoyed. We'll be back, like we said, Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. See ya.